Oh! I had to reach for the microphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back
I'm
to
normally
another...
reaching for a pie at this time of the morning.
That's a lie.
I like a pie.
When we were building this, you were eating pies all day.
I don't think there's a moment in time I've never thought about a pie. It's
You
almost
came in eating a pie,
with a pie.
about three
I'm
screws
a two-pie man.
and one joist, then
two-pie
another
man.
pie.
I'm a two-pie man.
There was one point I was working away like anything. I noticed you weren't there.
Oh.
And then you come back with a pie in your hand going, how's it going?
The
It wasn't even 9 o'clock.
how is it? Is it safe to eat about 12 pot noodles in a week?
Well, here's the thing. I've discovered these pot noodles that you said were too expensive, £1.85.
Too much.
And I've had like 4 a day.
Yeah, because
they're good.
I've sourced a pot noodle. You get 2 for 1 at a pot noodle. I get 2 pot noodles for £2, so it's £1 each pot noodle. That's going back to the 90s.
That's
prices.
good. That's good.
And I'm just fucking banging through them. I've got them everywhere. I've got a box in the house. I've got ones at various places of work. I've got one in here.
I've got them hidden.
That's why I was wanting a secret room.
Is it Itsu they're called, the ones I have, I think?
Aye.
Oh, they're lovely.
I was wanting a secret, a hiding space. I thought we could have a little hatch and we could fill it with pot noodles, but you just will have a none of it.
There was a space there, and there was a space somewhere else, I think, on the other side, and you wanted a hatch put in that you couldn't see it, and a picture in front of it.
Yeah.
No,
For pot noodles.
it's ridiculous.
I had a terrible sleep last night because I've got my frozen shoulder.
Yeah, how's it doing?
Oh, at night it's a nightmare, but that's not by and by. I decided to eat too much, so last night about 8 o'clock I had a curry, chicken curry, spicy as fuck with rice. Then I had a box of Abernethy's biscuits, and then I had an apple. Then I had a bag of Roysters crisps, and then I had a pot noodle. And I got home at about 10 o'clock, and I had 2 butteries with cheese and a cup of tea. And I woke up through the night and I'd regurgitated most of that, and it was just like, oh my God, I've got a cough now.
Oh,
Food almost killed me.
Burnt your throat.
Food almost killed me.
Well, maybe, right? I'm not an expert,
Right.
by any means, but stop fucking eating so much.
Can't stop.
Jesus.
By the way.
Oh, now you came in the other day with this. This is for Tea and Times.
1996. Now this is apt because this
Is
is
it
when
really as good as it looks? Oh yeah, it looks wonderful.
this is look. What are you doing in here? This is when I came to Dundee, 1996.
Yeah, you've been telling everyone, or since I met, but I've been here not even 20 years.
No,
Turns out you're closer to 30 years you've been
plus
here.
years.
You've never said that.
Always said.
You've said I've been here almost 20 years.
Yeah, so 1996.
You're closer to 30 years.
Lost the late part of 96, I would say.
Oh yeah, you're pushing it to the late part just
the
to
late
get out
part.
of it.
So
That looks wonderful.
There's some wonderful
for
stuff
Tea
in
and
here.
Times. It's just
there's
great.
one here that suits you down to the ground.
That's when weirdness was
Strange
fun.
Day swarms.
Oh,
There's animal deaths, attacks by animals.
oh.
This is
There's a
before
pig
XL
having
Brewery.
sex with a car.
Yeah,
the top.
there is, and there's a
That's
seagull
amazing.
trying to fuck a cat.
Seagulls attack all cats. They hate them.
You'll notice there's a little thing under here.
There's what looks like a polishing cloth.
It's a polishing cloth.
And it's a long shape, which always worries me.
Now, I was in a shop the other day, a charity shop,
Oh no.
and I bought something.
You're friends with everyone that works in them.
You're aware of this. And I thought it was like you remember the Master in Doctor Who?
Yes.
Remember he used to shrink people?
Yeah.
Remember how creepy that was at
It was
the time?
horrible. I was
Wasn't it
terrified.
horrible?
Didn't like it.
No, I didn't like it. And he was in that. Remember that fucking thing he was in? The Master was great.
No, he was terrible.
Kate O'Mara was good as well.
All right.
Anyway,
calm down.
no, it's just, do you remember her in that thing, Triangle on the boat?
Yeah,
And she
where
was
they
just
actually shot it
on a boat.
On a boat.
And there's a bit where she's sunbathing and it's in like a Force 5 gale.
Yeah. And it was because it was in a boat. If they were inside, all the windows were blown out.
Yeah.
So they had to shut the curtains. So you didn't know they were on a boat. It was just constantly in a dark room.
Madness. It was madder than El Dorado.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the shop, and I saw you in a small you.
Yes.
And I thought, God, I've got to save him for this shop. So I spent 10 pence on him. And then I grabbed him, held him. Oh, wee Derek. And I ran in here because I was going to come into your studio and you weren't going to be here because you'd been turned by some gypsy curse into a small figure.
Yep.
And you said, oh, it's not quite like me, you said. It's missing a few things.
Oh, you didn't. Have you spent half your fucking day making it look like me?
Tiff up the.
You've drawn the lines that are on my skull on this fucking thing.
Look.
I'm gonna have to show everyone. Hold on.
It's your creases.
This is ridiculous.
It's the creases on the top of your head. Look at it. It's uncanny. Oh, look at him. But look what I've written on the base. Look, in gold paint.
Hold on, I'm coming back.
In gold paint.
You've spent time on this. Let's
Not
see.
too long.
What does it say?
It
what
says-
does it say?
It says Derek Vindas.
Derek
in gold.
Vindas. Look at
So
that.
what we're going to do
Okay.
for the next one, if someone can something genuinely good, message in.
Okay.
None of your fucking limericks, no your shit. Something that
Poor Chris is still hurt to the core by us not laughing at his limerick.
something that impresses me. And if
Okay.
I am actually impressed, if you get a chuckle out of me, I'll send that to you.
Oh, goodness. Even if it's like far away and it's going to cost like a tenner. And now it's suddenly
But
changed.
the good thing is, Chris is so universally shit. It's very unlikely.
If we could
he'll
drop it off to your house by walking, we'll do it.
If I could stick it in a box and send it for second class, that can be yours.
Oh my, you don't want that in
You
your
do.
house.
It's clearly cursed.
Well, speaking
And
of
if you'll
Chris,
notice, as Susan says, Susan was actually funny. You'll notice, I think it's supposed to be an Italian peasant.
yeah.
He's clutching some grapes.
Mm-hmm.
Susan said that was your hemorrhoids.
Similar size.
So this is a Derek Vindas with hemorrhoids. That's a collector's item.
Speaking of which,
Uh-huh.
in the post, I
Oh,
got an envelope
no.
and there's a penis ejaculating being drawn on it. Right? So my girlfriend picks this up and looks at it and goes, "It's for you."
Yeah.
Of course.
It could have been for your mother, maybe.
Chris Shadowins sent me this lovely birthday card, and it's
man in a
Theodore Roosevelt
Uh-huh.
riding a dinosaur when he tamed all dinosaurs and made
Okay.
America free. And
Okay.
that's an actual photograph.
That's a thing.
And he says I look like him.
No, you
no,
don't.
I don't. But
You
it
don't.
says, I couldn't help but notice more than a passing resemblance to President Roosevelt and Derek, perhaps a long-lost relative. Anywho, happy birthday, dude. Love, big love heart, Chris. And then a wee note. It's all, you know,
You've
always
got
get sexual.
that wee peaky face. Roosevelt had a big square head.
He had a big, killed everything.
Had a
Shot
jaw.
that dinosaur.
Lockjaw.
He would probably strangle that dinosaur after riding it.
Was
He
that
killed everything.
Was that famously shot the bears and then he
Humped them.
He humped them and then
Yeah.
he humped the mother bear
That's it.
and it gave birth to a teddy bear and that's why it's called
Teddy
a teddy
bears.
bear.
That's
Okay.
it. That's the exact story. Another Roosevelt, the one in World War II. I went to his house.
Did you?
Not a single telly.
Aye. He to show you the difference of the media now
Yeah.
than then. He was in a wheelchair and nobody in America knew.
Kept it secret.
Kept it secret.
Kept it secret.
And he died. He didn't outlive the war, did he?
No,
Hitler,
at 45 he died.
Hitler outlived him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he...
Hitler had a bottle of champagne when he died.
Really?
And then went out in the garden and shot himself or whatnot.
Oh, that's the way it always goes. But I saw the car that he would drive, and it had hand controls, like pedals you would
Yeah.
turn or something. I can't remember. But it was, if you go on holiday, do the tourist stuff. It's actually interesting. Do you want to know why? There was this guy. He looked like the park ranger out of Yogi Bear.
Uh-huh.
And he's telling, because when people work there, they don't just wear like a name tag like
No,
in this
no,
country.
they're
They've got the
armed.
hat and
They're
they
armed.
look like Boy Scouts,
Yeah.
but portly.
Okay.
So this guy was given all the information, but he was talking like a robot. And everyone on the tour were really elderly,
Right, okay.
Apart
Including
from-
yourself.
including me. And I just turned, and at my shoulder was a framed picture, a framed letter.
Oh.
And the letter was from Einstein talking about the experiment was successful. And it was
Oh,
about
that's
the
fun,
atomic. It was fascinating, and that was real. And it was just framed. And I thought that was worth the trip. And it's a big house, and it's really overly manicured and looks really strange.
Aye.
But it's nice. Do
'Cause
touristy things.
you're a president for life, aren't you? They always call you Mr. President after you've been the president. Because here, if you're the prime minister, they just call you cunt for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I think it's like in the army. You get, if you're a general or something like that, you
Aye.
keep getting called general.
Okay.
Up to a certain level and
Okay,
above. You keep
okay.
getting that. But I'm not too sure. But apparently,
Uh-huh.
I'm an expert on American history. I've been told by someone who teaches
Well,
it.
you go and see the great landmarks like the New York hot dog, the yellow cab.
I went to see the Bull,
Mm-hmm.
and like everyone, had a wee rub of its balls in Wall Street.
Could you see the house out of Everyone Loves Raymond?
No, but I saw the gun shop, because there's a gun shop in New York.
Is there?
Yeah, there's just, and it was in the start. I think it's the only one, and it's at the start of The Sopranos, and it was there.
Yeah, best not to harm New Yorkers.
And I was in the Diamond District where Laurence Olivier slashed that woman's throat,
Oh,
and
that
I
bit.
stood on the corner, and I have a picture of me going, "Yeah,
Is it safe?
is it safe?"
Is
Yeah, it was.
it safe?
The problem is when you first go to New York, you go, "Oh, that was filmed there, and that was filmed there," and after 20 minutes, every single bit of it's
Yeah,
been filmed, and you get kind of bored.
Plus, the New Yorkers get fed up of you getting in their way. They'll just stomp over you.
You know what? Everyone says they're so rude. I'm from Dundee. I thought everyone was a delight.
No, but the thing about
They were so
Dundee is when
polite.
you go shopping in the centre, there's so few people, you never bump into anybody.
Well, it used to be very different. And honestly, it used to be busy in Dundee, but now there's no one about. But honestly, people in Dundee are rude as fuck. So
Yeah.
when you go to New York, nobody was rude to me. And
Okay.
I've heard they're rude. But when you go to the Midwest, everyone's super polite. And isn't that strange?
You know
Because
what they
that
say
takes
about
us
polite
on
places.
today's show.
Okay.
But before we start today's show,
Uh-huh.
right, I'll show you what else
Oh,
I
you got a labyrinth.
This is from
That's
Dev.
that's become problematic over the years.
Devlin. No, it's not problematic. It's wonderful. Now
It's
I am
clearly
sure this came out in
problematic.
2007. This is the limited edition,
Uh-huh.
special edition, 2-disc, and I wanted this.
David was not circumcised. You can tell him.
No,
that.
you can tell. And I wanted this, and
Uh-huh.
Mark Devlin sent me this. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
It's really
It's
good.
the puppy fat you like, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but he also sent something else, and this is
The
something
guy
I've
that
never heard of.
manipulates the balls.
Oh yeah, that
'Cause
he
he
used to
reached-
hug
he-
around.
he
You give a
reached-
reach around to
yeah.
David Bowie on Hildy's balls.
Held his
That's an
shiny
absolute fact as well.
Ball. It is.
Now,
And what's this?
this video Mark sent me as well. Thank you so much,
very kind
Chris, for
of
the card, and thanks for Mark for the videos. Now, Hollywood DVD, because that's what it's always
Okay.
called, right? 2001. Listen to
That's
this.
quite recent.
Listen to who it's starring: Norris, Drago, McQueen, Swayze. Have you heard of this film, Death Ring? Problem is,
It's
Right.
Swayze's brother.
it's Mike Norris and Tom Swayze. Look at Swayze's brother.
Oh,
It
that's
looks
his
like he's
brother.
not been cooked long enough.
The only time I've seen Swayze's brother was in that Next of Kin
Yeah.
when they're hillbillies and he
Oh,
rocks up.
and you know what? They look like hillbillies.
But imagine this film and Billy Drago's the star.
Yeah,
And the only thing I've ever seen Billy Drago, he gets tossed off a building by Elliot Ness.
that's correct. That's correct. But it's. I went. Oh, look at all these names.
Is that Steve?
all their
Is it
brothers.
Steve McQueen's son?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Or
brilliant.
nephew. It'll be something like that. It's just. So you know what?
That is
It's
so
made me really
cheese.
want to watch
Yeah,
it.
that'll be
I really want to watch this. I think we may review this because Celluloids is back.
It's coming back.
Next Friday it'll return. And this is purely down to everyone requesting it. And they were quite
Oh, they're
upset.
so
There was a
needy.
lot of tears. People were crying themselves to sleep because there was no Celluloids. So Celluloids is returning. Okay,
And
we're going to put a mild bit of effort into this fucking show.
We're going to start off with a localish tour.
Yes, something.
film auteur.
This might be a very interesting
to be
one.
announced.
Okay, to be announced. So, let's get on with your favourite part. Text messages.
Jesus. Now this is off the table for this. It's next week.
Next week. Okay.
So that none of this is going to make me laugh. If it's extraordinary, I might think about it.
Warren. New Zealand.
New
Bless them.
Zealanders, eh? I've got family in New Zealand.
Gents,
It's not far enough.
Happy day to use.
Uh-huh.
I know, Derek, you're an avid cyclist, but either of you into electric scooters? Do you like
No.
electric scooters? No. I have one on loan from a workmate, so I plan to get out some adventures. Is Dundee scooter friendly?
No.
In terms of geography, hills like 45 degrees everywhere.
Greece.
Cheerio, Warren, wash your balls. Thank you, Warren.
Thanks, Warren. I was walking up my street. This is last year or so, and a guy was coming down on a scooter, middle-aged guy, older than you, and he was coming down at right pace and on the pavement, and just fucking just came off, and just got smashed apart. I just kept walking.
I saw a guy in one of those
They
Suran
seem
bikes
quite dangerous.
on the pavement doing about 60.
Yeah.
But he high-sided and he came off it and snapped his ankle. And the ankle was bent. I was like, mate, I'm all right. He got on the bike and rode away. An hour later, he was still going around and his ankle was...
I was
like,
at
what
the
you
work
doing?
the other day, and a guy went past the work at speed on this little electric scooter.
Yeah.
On his shoulder was a white parakeet.
Now, listen, what is it with Dundonians now going around on bikes with parrots? I'm seeing this all the
Sounds
time. I saw
fun.
one that was like a macaw, you know, the golden... They're going around riding these bikes with a
Parrot.
fucking parrot.
If they've gone beyond the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, the
And it's
husky,
parrots now.
it's parrots.
A parrot will fucking go for your eyes.
Well, a parrot, that's going to outlive you, especially if you're a junkie.
In captivity, they could go over 100 years
Yeah.
old.
I remember seeing the world's oldest parrot years and years ago. Not a feather on its body.
Yeah, and they're like 130.
Yeah.
They're just like old
The
shivering
things they'd
things.
seen.
They wear socks.
Well, there's a
It's
guy
so
that goes about the ferry with a barn owl on his arm like that.
What?
Just walks about.
I've seen the guy walking his chicken in town.
Yeah.
There's a guy that goes through the city
And
centre
then
and
there
his
was,
chicken's on a
a
lead.
guy with a snake.
Oh, the guy on the bus that pulled the fucking tarantula out to me. Dundee and their fucking pets.
I mean, it's
Get a cat.
It's a fucking menagerie.
Get a
But
fucking
they
cat.
keep just going into Camperdown Zoo and snatching stuff.
And they're just walking around town with this
Go
shit.
about with a wallaby.
Have you seen the plumber round here with his parrot in
Oh,
the car? But the parrot it puts its head out the car like a dog. Shouts abuse at that fucking parrot drove past me about 2 weeks ago, and I swear to God, it called me a wanker. It shouts abuse at people.
Oh. There was an Amazon delivery driver. He came up my stairs and he had one of those casseray things.
Yeah,
Yeah, like what?
was he riding it?
Yeah, riding it.
Amazing.
Like Bernie Clifton. Is Bernie still with us?
I don't know. He'd be a good age.
Imagine you could have an entire career and all you did was pretend you were riding about in an ostrich. I like a, what the fuck? And that was a career.
What's that?
And people
We're
think,
working too hard.
people think, oh, there was him. There was fucking the guy, Bob Carroll, geez, we spit
What was the guy
dog.
in Schnorbits? Do you
Oh,
remember
Schnorbit,
the guy?
Bernie Winters.
Bernie Winters just had a dog.
No, but it's funny because Bernie and his brother were a double act, and Bernie they fell out.
Yeah.
So Bernie sacked his brother and replaced him with a St Bernard. Oh, Schnorbit.
But it was funny. I liked it as a kid.
It was awful.
I loved it.
But
But
he
the
had a
dog was more
show-
interested.
The dog had distemper. That took it down. That's the same dog that was in Cujo.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
It went to Hollywood.
It went to Hollywood.
Fucking typical.
It had more
you
success.
get a couple of Saturday specials.
That had more success.
Fuck's
Someone
sake.
told me the other day, what did I read it? It was the dog out of Ken. It puts the lotion on itself.
Oh, that was in loads of films.
That was a big dog. Like it's like the bear that was in Lake Placid. That was in The Edge. That was in loads of stuff.
Oh, it's got like
Yeah.
proper agents.
Some
We
do-
don't have an agent,
I
but that bear did.
love a bit of dog acting. Who
What?
was a better actor? A Littlest Hobo or Benji?
Oh, Littlest Hobo.
Littlest
there was
Hobo
a-
had
there
a
was-
quiet. It did that, didn't it?
There was
I looked into your London.
London had a soft, morose. I don't know. There was a feeling to it, and it would just emote emotion.
Yeah.
And the hobo lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, it was poetic.
There's a
The other dog
place
just ran around barking.
Keeps on calling you down
Down the road. That's where
That's
I want
where I
to be.
want to go.
On the road again. No, I don't know.
Every
It goes,
place I stop, I make a
New
new friend.
friend,
Can't stay for long,
to
just
turn
carry on.
around
That's
and
over. Maybe tomorrow I want to settle down.
But until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Do-do-do-do-do.
And,
But he
and
never
it was
did
so
anything.
fucking Canadian, wasn't
Benji
it?
used to phone stuff and all can write with his paw.
So Canadian.
London
no,
just-
Benji was a fucking...
What's that? I'm sure London used to. There'd be sieges, and he'd just look. And
Oh,
he'd go,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just about to kill his mother. And he's like, oh fuck, sorry.
But London, he could stand at the road at
Aye.
the end of the adventure, and he'd look off, and then he'd just walk away, but he never looked back.
Because they always gave him a name. They'd always say, "Oh, Steve." Kid.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't give that dog a name.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Because Lassie, I found, was always a bit needy.
Lassie had a
Lassie
cock.
had that need. It's like you in a little bit. Kenny would look up.
I'm not needy.
Can
keep
you?
saying
It's
this.
pulled the family out of the burning
Speaking
building.
of needy, what do you think
Uh-huh.
of my assault on the fashion world with my new T-shirt? Debbie Gibson.
I was always a Tiffany fan. I don't
Me
like-
too. Me too. But Debbie Gibson T-shirts are better. That's the reason I got it. The Tiffany ones are awful. Unless you get the cover to the 12-inch of I Think We're Alone Now.
Uh-huh.
They're all awful. But Debbie Gibson,
There's a
Deborah,
bit of something. She must be 70-year-old now.
yeah, 78, I believe.
The
But she, yeah,
Radio 4 was on this morning. Radio 4 will come on. Sometimes it's interesting. But it was somebody fucking Desert Island this.
Oh no,
And it's always the worst of people.
yeah, I could imagine.
But it played Yazoo was it Yazoo in the Plastic Population?
Yaz in the
Yaz.
plastic population.
That's a banger, isn't it?
Mm.
It's right
The only
upbeat.
way is up.
Right
Our
upbeat.
second single was Stand Up For Your Love Rights. Anyway, I don't know why I remember that.
Remember Lisa Stansfield?
I believe she lives in, no, not Lisa Stansfield, but Yaz lives in Spain now, and she runs a church.
Oh, is she religious? Way?
Very.
Oh, wow.
No, wow. I think she's 85 now.
Tall legs, long legs.
Oh, just
long,
legs.
leggy.
Her legs went straight into her neck.
The Plastic Population.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they? So, today's
So
show.
this has made my ears go, ah!
Oh, Eunice. I spent 60 quid on these headphones, and you've complained about them since the day.
They really
Do you want
made-
your old ones?
No, it's okay.
My God.
Hold on, let's get right into it. Have you got a pencil?
No.
Can I get a shot of that
No,
pen?
don't. No.
Okay, come on. Let's go.
Okay, today's.
Excuse me.
This was. I had another idea for the show today, but
Mm-hmm.
what happened is I was going through. I'm clearing out a box room,
Oh, no.
and surprisingly, there's some boxes in it. And at the back, I put stuff away, and you forget about it. And in one
Starts to
box,
smell.
yeah, that dampness, that
Flesh, human flesh.
Before we continue, can I just thank one of our new patrons,
Uh-huh.
Jeff, who was going to do it
Oh,
secretly, but his
no.
name came up. Jeff, thanks. This is someone we actually know in real life, and he's become a patron. So, Jeff, thanks.
Right.
This is a man who's worked fucking hard all his life, and he's achieved a lot, and he now
Well.
lives in a garden shed.
Mm-hmm. Well, he better than his van.
Well, he kind of alternates between a van and a 6 foot by 4 foot garden shed. Good for him.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to have you aboard.
That's
now,
good.
I was looking through this box, and I found piles of paper. And you look, what
Jazz
is
mugs?
this? Just the usual.
Yeah.
What is this? And it was tickets from America, and it was all my bits and pieces from when I was in America that I've put in there all that time ago and never looked since. And I'm going through it, and it was just, what do I need?
This is nostalgia.
A ticket? No,
No, you sure?
no. Don't need tickets. I don't need this. So I don't need any of this shit. Threw it all out.
Okay.
But there's a notebook,
Oh,
and
no.
I went, "What's in this notebook?"
Oh, no.
Right. So I open it.
Okay.
Now, at any point in life, I like to think I'm a bit of a wit. I'm a bit charming. There's a possibility I might be a fucking dickhead. And I'll tell you why. I opened this notebook,
Uh-huh.
and in it was lists of when I was in America of things that I did. Now, you think you'd be, that's a diary. No. This was lies I told people, and I was so proud of them, I wrote them down. And I felt really bad for a second, because I'll explain why I felt bad. You'll see this. Also, there was lots of drawings.
You
There
like
was-
that? Yeah, the vasectomy worked. It's 100%
Yes.
fine.
I don't have AIDS. So I realised that I draw a lot of penises and write down
No.
jokes. So, okay, this is fucking nothing but penises.
Imagine flying back with fucking security and looked at your diary.
Just cocks everywhere and lies. Right? So, this is what I've done. And I put down the highlights. Now, you'll see I've done it in places.
Oh, no.
Because I've wrote it down what I did. Because I wasn't going to bring the book in. It was just too embarrassing. So,
Uh-huh.
and here's, before I begin, when you go to another country, you've got to be respectful. You're a guest, and I always have been. But
Right,
that
okay.
doesn't mean you have to respect yourself.
No.
This is the
No,
caveat.
no, okay.
Okay, I've figured that out. I've got a life hack. Respect somewhere else, but never yourself. Keep that in mind. New York.
Uh-huh.
At a Ren fair,
Oh, no, yeah.
Some local weirdos were impressed with my accent. We were sitting around a pickle barrel. It smells of vomit. And when a pickle barrel, it's a giant barrel full of giant pickles.
I've tasted
you
those.
pull them out and it smells of sick.
Right.
On a hot day, it was hot as fuck. Right?
I tasted dill pickle crisps.
Oh, anything with the word dill in it.
Wonderful.
Dill, dildo.
Wonderful.
Terrible.
Wonderful.
I convinced these lovely folks. This is what I wrote.
They're not lovely, they're at a Ren fair.
They were unusual. I convinced them I was world champion Highland dancer, but I could no longer dance since my dance partner died in a gay Gordon's accident. I was being quite convincing, and because I had an accent, I held court.
Yeah.
They were listening.
Because they'd all been putting on a fake accent, the Ren accent.
They do, yeah, the Ren speak, I think they call it.
Okay.
But I'm like just Faye Dundee.
No, I bet you'd been laying it on a bit.
Oh no, you don't need to.
No, 'cause they wouldn't
You know what happens? When you're around lots of Americans, you're listening to them talk and then you speak, you hear your accent.
Yeah.
And I sound like a fucking farmer. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible when you actually hear it.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger famously doesn't get to dub his own stuff.
because he sounds like a
Sounds
yokel.
like a Bavarian yokel.
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
This one guy.
I don't think you sound agricultural. You sound urban.
Urban, do it. Oh, that's cool.
Slummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But they can't. Americans can't pick up on the differences. They think we all sound quite posh.
I don't
All
think
British
anyone.
accents.
I don't think anyone listening to this thinks we're posh.
Chris Shadowins thinks we're posh.
Do you think we're royal?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm talking about it. You know, it's twilight. It's really and it's hot, and I'm going into this story. But I think it's a joke. And then one guy, because I'm kind of getting into the role, and my dance partner died, he puts his hand on my shoulder.
Has it got a gauntlet on it?
And he had a big leather cuff thing,
Yeah.
and he taps me and he goes, "It's all right, brother."
Oh, jeez.
This was the point I knew it went too far.
Did you
And I
start
went,
to cry?
fuck. And so I put my hand down going, what the fuck do I do now?
Oh, no.
So they went, okay. And I went, excuse me. And I stood up and I went to the little fake lot. It's a puddle. And I went to it and I stood off into the middle distance. But it wasn't really. I was watching bees flying along the surface.
Right.
And it was really fascinating. And it looked like Star Wars, but if it was water and bees. And I thought, after 20 minutes, this is long enough to look like I've pulled myself together.
Maybe
And I went, but
a little bit of water.
and I took a big breath so they could see me going, and I went back. And they were all so kind.
Oh, Jesus.
They were all so nice to me, and I felt terrible because they were handling me gently.
There is a naivety, and I think it's that kind of gormlessness
Yeah. Oh.
that America would never have been settled if they weren't idiots.
I don't.
No, but think about it. There's endless examples. Oh, you and I would just be I'm perfectly happy here. I'm not going over that mountain. But the Americans are like, let's do it.
See, here's what I found.
It's a confidence that you can only find in the idiotic.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
A smarter person would
When
go,
I was
that
there-
seems dangerous.
Americans say, no, but we're stupid. They actually said it. We're stupid. We're not like you guys that are smart.
Yeah.
They're wrong on both counts. Completely wrong.
Oh no, this country.
We are thick as mints.
There's a
And they're-
YouTuber I watch, and he discusses. He's a kind of economist,
Yeah.
and he discusses the issues with countries
Yeah.
and why countries are a little bit fucked. Like he did Germany last
Mm-hmm.
night, and there's a number of factors in Germany that Germany in the next 20 years is not going to be the industrial powerhouse it was.
Right, okay.
And he actually worries that Germany as a population is kind of it's too old. It suffers from that way. He's never got to Britain because I think he just thinks we're done now. We've not got 10 years. Britain's done.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, fucking hell.
We're done. We should move to America. To Hollywood DVD. I think there's a place called Hollywood DVD. I want to go.
But America is downsizing as well.
It is. I have to say, when I was there, there's so much. We get all what we know from America, from TV and that.
Yeah.
But when you're there, I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
It's a great
I've never
place, great people.
But there's a lot of places which were booming.
It's just nice.
And they're shrinking. There's a
Yeah.
retraction. But what America's got in its favour is immigration.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go to fucking America.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was just...
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a better vibe
There's
there
something
than
for
there is
everybody,
here.
but
Yeah.
it's not a homogenized place. Like America, you go to one state and another, they're utterly different.
It's because there was a lot of when I was talking to people there, they were like, "Well, America's American." I was like, "No," because I've been to by the time I got to Kansas, I've been to different places, and it was like it's just so. It's like countries on their own,
Yeah,
and they're
but
big enough to be countries on their own. The states.
After they made the mistake of politely asking us to leave, all the states would have. There was just acrimony. They all fell out with each other.
But that's
Because
the nature of things.
certain states had like they could get revenue for stuff coming into the country.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this, but basically we blockaded them. The Spanish and us just blockaded America, so they couldn't really fish properly. There was all kinds of shit.
Oh,
There was some dirty tricks happened.
always.
And
Britain's always at the
countries,
the bottom of this shit.
well, the thing is, we're not now because we've just
not now.
authority. There's no authority. at all.
You know, the funny thing is, though, Britain likes to go, people say Britain was terrible in the past and terrible, but because we're so shit now, we're kind of going, yeah, well, we're fucking terrible, eh?
Check
and
us
sort of
out.
dead proud of it. But we're shit now.
Our days of being
It's
terrible
done.
is just long gone.
We've not got it anymore.
You know when you'll hit rock bottom when the Falkland Islands go. We just want to go and be Argentinian.
Yeah,
now."
yeah.
That'll happen eventually.
But the thing is, wouldn't you prefer to be Argentinian? It looks delightful
well, it's
there.
right next. It looks a bit more colourful
It
than the
looks
Falklands.
great, doesn't it?
But we all
Argentina.
know about Falklands prisons. That's all.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
didn't start another fucking war.
Oh no,
Because the Falklands 2, the favourite one, was started by you.
yeah.
Jesus, we don't need it. I started a war with Crowded House fan club.
Oh.
That took 2 years to subside. Your war took a good 6 months to
Oh,
subside with the Falklands. So
I
let's
was getting
just.
some terrible mail through the
Oh
post.
my God! Right. I mean, it's true they're all paedophiles, but that's not our fault.
That's a, no.
Right. Next one.
Right.
New York 2.
Okay.
I was surprised how many people would apologise if you claimed diplomatic immunity and quickly flash your passport. At a restaurant, when the bill came round, I think it was in Tuxedo, I can't remember, and I had to pay the bill. I said, in Lethal Weapon 2, diplomatic immunity. And people went, oh, I'm sorry. And they didn't know what to do. And I realised this really works. It was very funny.
In New York, I would have led them. I can imagine like
This was upstate New York.
I can imagine
yeah.
the shit kickers
Out the
in
city.
Oklahoma.
No, this was outside
But
the city.
the New Yorkers are a bit sharper. But you're saying some of the
This wasn't. No, this was New York State. This was out the city.
Greater Manchester.
Yeah. So we went further than that. Out,
Okay.
yeah. And I just would do it as a joke.
Wow.
Diplomatic immunity.
Okay.
Remember when it was Patsy Kenzie going, Officer Reeks?
But you're a very shabby looking person. It would maybe have worked if you were in like a suit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
Diplomatic.
I would say 3 times out of 5 it worked. The other 2 times people just ignored you and pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Kansas City won. So I now made it down to
Okay.
Kansas City.
Okay.
At a bar called the Hurricane, I convinced a couple of fit lasses, that's the way I wrote it, that I lived in a castle.
Once again, shabby dresser, castle.
It's the accent. They were convinced. What I said to them, I said, one thing I hate about, being from Scotland, everyone thinks you live in a castle. I says, now, to be fair, I actually do, and I'm not a good example, but it's a stereotype.
Okay.
Do you see how I slotted it in? Do you see how
I remember
smooth as fuck?
a guy I know went to Japan, and he's ginger-haired and not an extraordinary person to look at. He claimed that the Japanese girls were just dry humping him in the street. Said they could not get enough of him.
The single mothers of Kansas City like an accent. That's all I'm saying.
I suppose if you're in Kansas City, you're an out. You're an escape. They'll clutch at any straw.
Yeah.
You are that straw.
I am that. I am the last straw. As they're drowning, I'm willing to take a chance on that piece. Yeah, that's me.
Flotsam and jetsam.
I'm happy at that.
No.
Kansas City 2. Now, this is something that I saw in Crocodile Dundee.
2.
First one, the only one of value. And I said it to everybody and nobody doubted it. When they asked your age, people would ask, what did you do? How old are you? There was a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And I'd say,
Because you're a hard man to pin down.
I don't know how old I am.
Even then, you'd looked.
Yeah. Well, I looked very baby-faced then. But I did say I didn't know how old I was.
Okay.
They went, what do you mean? I says, well, I know I was born in the autumn. I says, but we don't have birthdays.
They call it the fall.
And then they went, what about your passport? I says, you just choose a random date and they accept that as long as it's in they think a 5-year period of when you were born. But no one keeps birth dates or anything like that. And she says, but do you have a birthday? I says, oh, we do. But again, you choose a day with your friends and you all sort of celebrate it, but we don't actually know when we're born.
Did anyone ever kick a shit out of you when you were over there? You're like fucking...
Nobody doubted it. This was the thing. And this is why this show, look, I even wrote it down, it's called Guilt. I felt bad. When I read this notebook, I was like, what the fuck?
You ever seen the film Grifters?
Yeah.
With John Cusack?
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to fuck his mother, Angelica Houston.
Yes.
But he's going about with little grifts.
Yeah.
And he tries a cash thing in a dive bar.
Yeah.
And the guy just grabs him and fucking whacks him in the side with a pickaxe handle.
Well, what did
nothing
happen?
like that happen?
No, if I was evil, you could have used this power, right? But the only time I did use it was St. Patrick's Day. And we were up by the cinema.
Oh, you're dealing with Irish.
Went in a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And they heard my accent. And they're all dressed in green. They went, oh my God, are you Irish? And I went, I am. They went, where are you from? I went, Dublin, Belfast. And they went, oh! And we got free food and drinks. We were there for about 3 hours. It was great.
That's a sad thing. It's like the film Rob Roy McGregor with Big Liam.
Oh.
And he does... You'd think an Irishman would be able to do a Scottish accent, but it's the worst Scottish accent ever.
Yeah.
Because they do that lilty shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not speaking about the soft drink.
Jessica
I love
Lange
the
in
bit
it.
where the cow gets shot and it just...
Jessica Lange. Have you seen her now? She's had her cheeks and eyes done. But she's retiring. I think because her cheeks and eyes have just exploded in size. Not good, good.
She got molested by a gorilla. His big gnarly fingers.
Hey, I've got that on DVD. I love that film.
The big fingernail.
It's not a rape. It was intimate.
Imagine what's under King Kong's fingernail.
Because you know, the thing if he's scratching his arse,
big King Dong,
right? But if he's imagine the smegma. It would look like a lump of whale vomit.
He'd probably be quite frustrated. Godzilla. Not Godzilla, King Kong.
King Kong, yeah.
Does he just fuck a mountain or something?
Yeah.
Imagine King Kong going about Dundee.
Imagine you're around Skull Island and you went, lads, it's about to rain. I've found a cave. You go in the cave. You know, there's a familiar smell.
Saying that, there's some larger ladies going about Dundee that would be able to accommodate his
No
guff.
problem.
No problem.
I believe it's the term for a Dundee vagina is like throwing a Mars bar up a closey. Now, Kansas City 3. And I'm guilty, but when I was reading this, I was like, I can't believe
awful.
it. And it all came flooding back. Everyone thinks people in Scotland don't have surnames. You just picked a name at random for paperwork, such as going on the dole or joining the Zap Zone. I told them that. I said, I got my surname I had to go up to the Zap Zone, and if you joined the Zap Zone club,
it's like Ellis Island.
Yeah.
Because people got called
exactly.
Mr. Spaghetti.
Well, the thing is, they have this at the back of their mind. They got this at school. So when I say, we don't have surnames. And they said, but what clan are you from? I went, well, essentially it's McGregor. So you're a McGregor. I went, no. I went, no. That's like saying you're from Kansas, and so you're Jim Kansas. No. I went, no, you got to choose your own name. I said, so I just chose Findas because, it was on the food I was eating. And I wanted to join the Zap Zone club.
The Japanese have got, what's the Japanese way with names? Because it's unusual, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's not quite straightforward. I don't have first name, last name. I don't think.
Okay.
I could be completely wrong in that.
But nobody doubted it. So I didn't have a birthday.
Okay.
Nobody knew when I was born. They remember the weather when I was born. That's how I said, that's how you know.
You remember when it's nothing worse when Scotland's thinking it's getting a wee bump from America. Like, remember when they had Scotland Day with Darius Dinesh and Jack
Scotland
McConnell?
Day. Oh, when I went to New York for the first time, Scotland Day was on. Like the next day or the day after, they said, we're going to go into New York so you can celebrate Scotland Day. And I went, what's that? And they were so hurt that I'd never heard of it. And I went, there's no such thing.
I remember the film Brave?
I haven't seen it, but
I've never seen it. But they went across, and there's this mistaken belief that there's this great wellspring of affection for the old country.
Yeah,
And
nobody gives a fuck about
America's moved
Scotland.
on.
Yeah.
There's more Germans than
The only
Scotland.
reference I got when I was there was Braveheart.
And they said
Not even
they were going
Highlander.
up to people going and brave Scotland.
Yeah.
Do you know what does? And they were saying to people, "What does Scotland mean to you?" And they're like, "What? Scotland?" They're like, "What is that?" And they
Yeah.
go, "Scotland." Oh, is that like is that kind of like Ireland? They had no concept.
No concept. And I
Yeah,
did find that.
because you're too busy being American.
You're too busy. You don't need to worry about this dump.
That's a Scottish disease.
Yes, I
That
agree.
Scottish people that go across and then fucking get maudlin about Scotland for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Stay in Scotland then.
When I was there, I was only 2.5 months in, and I could do a perfect Kansan accent.
Okay.
Well, Gaji
Okay.
Kansan. Because you pick it up. At first, I
You-
was doing it as a joke.
You do look a bit
But
like
then
a
you
hillbilly.
could just do it. I
But
could just pick it up.
You look like one of those, the Whitakers.
If I was moving there permanently, within a year, my accent would be gone.
I can
I'd
imagine you.
assimilate.
I can imagine you on a stoop.
I like a good
squatting
stoop.
on a stoop.
I like a squat.
There was a lassie I went to school with, and she went on holiday for a week to America
Mhm.
and came back with an American accent. She has to this day.
About 13-year-old, 14-year-old.
Yeah,
That's when it happens.
Yeah.
You send your kid on an exchange thing for 6 weeks, they'll come back speaking fluent French. It's what happens.
It's like I feel
You can't
right
get rid of the
sorry for
accent.
Scott. Here's a scenario.
Okay.
You've watched like Escape to Down Under.
Okay.
You go, oh, I'm a fucking butcher, and the wife's a nurse.
Mm.
Young kids. You move across to Australia. You struggle because it's
Mhm.
fucking Australia. You know, it's not got much going for it.
Right.
And then you come back, but your kids now sound Australian for the rest.
Oh, no. It's not like if they moved to New Zealand, that's a lovely accent.
Fish and chips.
But
It's Australian.
Australian.
Can you imagine?
So where are we now? Went on a wee
A
trip.
Barbie.
Arkansas.
Oh, was it?
Went to the Ozarks, and it was when it was all the leaves were changing.
Oh.
Fucking glorious.
Is that 6-2 Arkansas?
That was exactly the place.
Okay.
So, convinced people at a barbecue at the back of a sex motel. Didn't realise it was a sex motel because we went there because there was tornado warnings.
Did
We
not
meant to be
have
camping.
that smell.
The room,
The Dundee smell.
the room that we got was perfect.
Was it a love hotel?
Normal.
So yeah,
But all the other rooms had baths beside the bed.
handy.
Right.
So you just roll.
But they were like joined.
You
The
copulate,
bed
then you just
was
roll.
joined to the bath.
You could just get the blanket and just tip them into the bath.
Yes. It was horrific. And it was lots of... Some people were actually living in it.
Mm.
They lived there. So we're at this barbecue. We
I
got
watched the
invited down.
film, the Ozark thing. Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Just folk going to be murdering each other.
Well, to be fair, we went into this area
Uh-huh. A lot of Scottish people know Ozarks, isn't it?
and I don't know, but we got followed.
Probably
By someone.
Scottish people.
And
yeah.
it wasn't a great place.
Because you'll have taken to the mountains and then... Is it Jackson Whites? Is that there? It's like ex-slaves and all kinds of people
Right.
took to the mountains.
We weren't far from the place that had white nationalist terrorists coming out of it, and we're driving around like stupid idiot. Did not have a clue. It was, but a lovely looking place.
Oh, beautiful.
And we stopped at this sort of diner. It was like out of film. Well, you know, things are not out films. They just film what's there. But to us, it looks like it's
Yeah.
all a set. And it was. And when I got talking to people, they heard the accent, and I had a great day. And I just lied to
Okay,
them for
yeah.
about 2
Yeah.
hours. They were all locals, really nice.
You got a pretty mouth there, boy.
Your accent's excellent.
Uh,
So
oh.
we're at the back of this hotel.
Is
We
that
got
why you're
invited us down.
bandy-legged now?
Yeah, and well, you know, you got to pay for things. And I told them, right,
Grits. Did you get grits? Is grits just
I
mince?
never knew what grits was.
it
I never
mince?
had that.
Or is
Biscuits
grits
and
porridge?
gravy. Get that.
Oh no, but we have biscuits and gravy, yeah?
But
Mince
I
and
thought,
tatties and a dumpling.
no, it's not the same.
It's better.
It's not even close.
It's better.
I thought,
dumpling.
I thought biscuits and gravy was like penguin biscuits and Bisto. But when I found out what it was, it's great.
it's
With
good.
spicy sausage, cornbread in it. Oh,
Nice.
it's great. It's a pain in the arse to make, but it's
Can I-
great.
well, not that difficult.
But you got to keep mixing it for 15 minutes. You get tired.
Okay.
So anyway, I convinced these people, and we had a little shandy. I had a little shandy at the time. I think it was the last time I even had a drink. And I convinced them that 1/8 of Kansas, I was over there as a representative for Scotland because 1/8 of Kansas had been handed back to Scotland because we previously owned it. And as a sort of reparation thing and, a coming together
Hold
of the
on,
countries.
hold on. Have you considered? Right. I think it's time I tell you. You, in your mind,
Yes.
you've went across there.
Yes.
America is Elmer Fudd.
Okay.
And you are Bugs Bunny.
Yes.
And you're playing
Yes.
you're playing a wonderful game with them.
Yeah.
And they're being stupefied by
Yes,
you, and
yes.
you're getting one over on them. I'm putting across a theory, right?
Uh-huh.
They all think you're a fucking idiot. And
Yes.
they're just playing along.
This is what I think. Now, back then, I thought I was Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Now
You're
I
Elmer
realise
Fudd.
I'm a special kid.
You're Elmer Fudd.
and they're
innit?
just going, just nod.
just everyone.
So I told them 1/8 of Kansas has been handed back to Scotland, and you're going to require a passport to visit this part of Scotland.
Yeah,
right?
they've not believed that.
One guy got really upset by this.
Yeah.
But I told him, listen, you give me your name and everything, I'll put a word in, you'll get across the border without it. I says, but don't worry about it, it's not coming in for 2 or 3 years yet.
Yeah.
Right? But as soon as you had an accent, you sounded convincing.
Probably think you're like Forrest Mick Gump. There's probably a statue of you somewhere. Just standing here with a wrinkly foot.
It was wonderful, and they believed it. So, yeah. I said I'd put
like
a word in.
Messiah.
Arkansas too.
Okay.
I told the clerk, and it is pronounced Clark, even though it's an E in it, at the hotel that all Scotsmen are born with 6 fingers on their left hand, and it's removed before 6 months of age. And it's kept in a lead box by the eldest female in the family.
No, you see them. Yeah. Where's that mining town where you have to kiss the toe?
See? People do shit.
Kind of one you have to drink
Yeah.
the drink and there's a toe in it. And if you kiss the toe, you get like...
And I went like that to the poor guy. I went, do you see it? See my scar? And he went, oh, yeah.
Mm.
I went, yeah. I went, it said it's got no bones or anything, but it's a genetic thing that you can tell a true Scotsman because of their 6 small finger. I said, there's no
Is
bone.
that pterodactylism?
Is that what it's called? I think pterodactylism. Is that what it's called?
Possibly.
T-Rexism. Oh, no, you
I
can't
think
say
because
that.
I've seen a picture of hands and it has got extra...
Yeah.
Yeah, like 6
Well,
foot.
This is a sign only on the left hand.
Aye.
We're not weird. But there's this finger and it's just taken off. It's actually taken off with a bit of string.
Like a dew claw on a dog.
Just a bit of string
Right.
like that and it falls off.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And this is done before 6 months and it leaves very little scar. It says, I've got actually more of a scar than most. But you know, and you, oh yeah, totally believe in it. And it started in a conversation about, because he was working on the hotel and he had this big Bowie knife. Right? He had this big knife, and I went, God, that's a knife. You're not allowed to carry knives in Scotland. And we got in this conversation where he thought that was terrible.
Oh, yeah,
You're not allowed to carry it in Scotland.
No.
And then it turned into me lying about having a 6 finger. Well, all Scotsmen have 6 fingers.
I watched a thing on YouTube and it was the Sharp Show.
Yeah.
It's Britain's premier knife show. And just all the knives are like this.
Oh, they're all tiny.
And they're not allowed to lock.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
just,
right. It's just shite
And then
knives.
you can tell
Dangerous
they're-
knives.
But they're all tactical. With their
You're going tactical with a tiny knife. And the problem with a knife that doesn't lock, if
cut
you're
yourself.
cutting something, if you move it back, it's like scissors on your
Yeah, you
finger.
cut
It's
yourself.
so dangerous.
It's an insanity.
Yeah, use a pair of scissors. If you want to carry a knife, use a pair of scissors. Honestly, it's not any use. Kansas City 3
Okay.
told everyone at a party. It was a terrible party. That Scotland got its first computer, and I used this one all the time in 2003. I queued for over 6 hours to see it in Edinburgh. I wasn't allowed to touch it, but it was behind glass.
Okay.
But there was a boffin pressing the buttons. It was quite exciting.
Did IBM, they thought the future of computers was going to be 4 in the whole world.
Yeah.
It's going
That
to be
was
massive things.
Oh,
Like,
wonderful.
yeah.
But I used this one all the time, and that was completely believed. I went, it was an exciting
If
time.
you're in those arts and that, I wonder what the connection for internet's like. There'll be a lot of it pretty piss poor.
Well,
won't
you've got Starlink.
there? I wouldn't use that
I
shit.
know. But anyway, Kansas City 4. There is no cash in Scotland. There's
Well,
just a
it's
barter
got that
system.
way.
Yeah, it's got that way now. And it's based on basic exchanges all the way up to sexual favours. For example, a DVD would cost you a hand job.
Right, okay.
And I'd say, but hardly anyone does that anymore. It's mainly just barter now.
Yeah.
And they're
But
looking at you like,
a
what the
VHS
fuck?
is more expensive to produce than a DVD.
So that would be a finger up the doubt as
Yeah,
well.
Probably.
Kansas City 5 told everyone I'd never seen a green vegetable until I went to America. When we went to a restaurant, I would hold broccoli and stare at it.
Oh my
Right?
God. Did they tire of you? Were you changing over? Was
No,
this the same
what-
people?
What they wanted to do, they wanted to show you stuff. I done this. I said what happened with one person? I said I'd never been around guns.
Aye.
Now that's not true, but I wanted to play the
Oh,
naive, right?
right.
The next day they come round to all their mates with all these pistols to show me loads of guns, and I went, "Oh, that backfired." And this was the same with broccoli. I went, "I've never seen green vegetables. We only get turnips and tatties." I said, "What is this? Can you eat that?" They're like, "God, yeah, you can eat it. It's wonderful." So the girl Casey that lived across the road, she was so impressed with this. She went and spent money and got as much green veg as she could and bring it across and went, "Eat it." And she went like this, "Eat it and enjoy it. This is so good for you. Just eat it all." And I went, She went, "Cook it first."
I don't know what this says about them or you. They've done a number
They were kind. Every single one of them was kind.
But the American populace, they've done a number on them, thinking we are the leaders of the free world.
Do you know what they used to say to me?
Everyone else is just
Could be worse, could be in France.
Yeah,
They thought France was a third world country, and I'm like, what's this saying?
It's quite a number they've done.
They've done it, but because you know what? Everyone I met was kind as fuck. And that's why I feel bad about it
There's
now.
a town in America where everyone's missing a limb. It's the insurance place.
Oh
They
yeah.
go out and they put their arms into threshers and all kinds of
Oh
stuff.
my God.
Nobody's
that's
got-
crazy. I was at a Mexican restaurant. Lovely place. Used to love going there. You used to get the salsa and you know the sweetie jars, like them but tall but plastic. It came in that and you just pour it out. It's very strange. It was like water. Tasty though. Anyway, there was some lettuce. And I went, "What's this one?" They went, "That's lettuce."
Oh, come on.
Right? And I would take out my camera and I took about 50 pictures of lettuce. And I was just entertaining myself.
Oh, no.
And I feel terrible about it because everyone was so kind.
I remember I was reading the thing or watching the thing. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. And it was a guy. It's his experience of being an American, and he says the amount of times he would break down on the freeway, and he says a lot of wealthy people would never stop for you. He says the kindest people he ever met was like the Mexican people come along.
This is what
illegal immigrants.
I remember.
Said the amount of time they'd help him fix his car, give him something to eat.
We went up to the park beside us. We got some McDonald's and we were way to sit. And there was this party going on.
Yeah.
And these big guys came over and they went, "Come on, join us.
Oh.
You're not sitting there." And the guy goes, "Is that McDonald's?" He says, "Leave in the car. We've got food for you." We were there all day.
Oh, wonderful.
I think I got a new family. I think I got married. They were delightful. I had a great time.
Be pregnant.
Oh, again. So, this ends on Kansas City. Now, there was about 80 things that I'd done, but I'd just done these ones, right? Because the other ones I feel terrible about.
They've probably written a story about you like the Pied Piper of Hamlet.
There was this guy,
There's probably
like the leather man or something.
Scruffy Deck. They tell their children about him. This wonderful car. Who's Jason in his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat? There'll be something like that.
Deck in his scubby clothes.
Scubby clothes.
Kansas
Like a
City 6.
vagabond.
Now, this one, I'm going to caveat at the start. I feel terrible about.
Oh, no.
And I'm still guilty about it, and I feel awful. And if the man who ever was involved in this heard it, please, I'm sorry. You are a delight. You are what the world needs. But I am not. And I realised it reading this back. I got this from Crocodile Dundee too. Not two, as well. You know who's scared of escalators? Because he'd never seen one before. Every time I went near an escalator, I would go, "Oh, the stairs are moving." But I'd make my accent very clear. And I was doing it to make the girl I was living with laugh.
Right.
And out of nowhere, this arm went round my shoulder and another hand took my hand. Took my hand. And I looked round, there's a huge guy. American football jersey on. Black hair. I remember him. Kind eyes. Brown eyes.
Forced his way inside
And he went
roughly,
like
but
this. He
gently.
said to me, he went, "Brother, you stick with me. I'll help you down these stairs."
Oh, my God.
And I went, "No." And so I had to stick to the part. And I went, oh, and I was pretending like I was shaking. And he got me down. He goes, don't worry about it. The key is don't move. Let the stairs do the moving.
Don't move, let it.
Like that. And he says, so where are you from? And he
I
was
bet that
talking
was
to
like
me
the Titanic
to
bit.
keep me calm.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Right? And I was like,
I'm
oh,
sorry,
no.
but that man's too like an idiot.
He was so nice.
That's
and he got me to
idiotic.
the bottom and he says, now when you step off, one step. Don't take several, just one step.
That's a sense of humour. I think Americans don't maybe get irony as much.
I don't know, but I stepped off
sarcasm.
and I went, sir, thank you so much. I've never seen one before and I wasn't sure what to do.
My brakes are torn.
And he went like that, no problem. And he went, remember, just one step at the bottom.
Oh, come on.
And he walked away and he was just a delightful human who we need lots more people like him.
No, we don't need, because he's very gullible.
No, he didn't know. He heard me talking. He thought, this guy doesn't know.
You pick up on somebody. You know when somebody's coming the bullshit.
I'm an actor.
Fuck's sake.
And I feel so bad about it. I feel so bad. And his hand was twice the size of mine, but so gentle.
Tweaking your nipples.
No, he just held me. But he held my hand. My hand was like that, and he just grabbed it like that. And he went, come on, I'll get you
I've saved two old ladies on escalators in the Wellgate. They don't work now, so they're safe as houses. An old lady's
everything's broken in there.
Her laces were caught in an escalator. And
Oh,
she was
no.
going to get dragged into it. So
Dangerous.
I pulled her laces loose, and then this other old lady, she got stuck, and I just picked her up, like I basically like the guy picked you up. But she was like a little knitted sweater full of feathers, and I just picked her up like that, and then just rode her down, and deposited her at the bottom. That's how that guy had felt.
Oh well, and that's good of you. You need people like you to help others.
Yeah,
and we needed.
But that's
that guy.
an old lady who was clearly in trouble. That's not some wise arse mid-30s fucking skater boy going. Fuck's sake.
Taking pictures of lettuce.
The Americans have got nuclear weapons.
I was in the place buying loads of veg and I was taking pictures of it. And the guy that worked, I told him, the guy that worked there, that I'd never seen green veg before. So again, he took me on a tour guide of all the vegetables. That's when I found out that coriander's called salata. I didn't know. And I was taking pictures. And then I realised I've got to take pictures of all the broccoli
you know what's going to happen?
sprouts.
What is going to happen? There's going to be the Pentagon one day, and some Russian enemy of the state is going to go, I don't know how doors work. Oh. And the Marines are going to come out and go, oh, sir, sorry, here you come. In you come, have a seat. They just get go, steal the codes, blow the whole country up.
Listen, when I done it, in that moment, it was there's not thought going into it. I just thought I was being funny. I was making myself laugh. But when someone reacts to you so kindly, you've got to keep with it.
You're essentially a snake oil salesman going
You've got
about
to
those poor, gullible...
Honestly.
What's people from Kansas called? Kansasians?
Kansans.
Kansans?
Kansans?
They're called Kansans?
Kansans, I think.
Kansans?
Kansans?
Kansan?
Prisoners?
Remember the High Chaparral?
Oh, I hated that.
I loved that
That was
shit.
boring.
His sexy relationship with his Mexican wife. and
No,
everything.
that was on a Sunday.
And
That
his
meant
gritted
boring.
His gritted teeth.
Hated it.
I loved
Hated
the
it.
High. I was no Bonanza fan, but I loved the High Chaparral.
High Chaparral used to be on when you'd come home for lunch at school. That was I hated that. Hated that. Anything with cowboys. Ugh. Ugh.
I love
Didn't like
I love
it.
a cowboy.
Don't like cowboys.
Love a cowboy.
I saw. I was down. It was called the
Most
Secret
cowboys
Valley
are-
or something.
Most cowboys were Mexican or black guys.
Yeah, they were all. But I was down this place in Arkansas, and it was the Secret Valley. The Secret.
Oh.
Something like look it up. It's really nice.
Is that where the dinosaur lives?
And out from the trees came all these cowboys with like cattle and everything. I thought that's really nice.
But it's just for yuppie tourism now,
And
isn't it?
Every single cowboy that went past was on their phone.
Of
Every
course.
single one of them. There was, I think, about 6. And they were all separated, but every one of them was on their phone.
Okay.
And I thought that was delightful. It was
Yeah.
really beautiful place. Beautiful
Cuddly's
place.
gold.
Oh, God, that was a terrible film. Terrible film. But I want to apologise to America because I think I've
I think
ruined
it's
it.
too late.
And this is the place.
But like I say, I think you've got it on its head. They were being nice to you.
Do you think so? Well, okay, here's why I'm not so sure. The girl I was living with, her sister, would come and see me most days because she wasn't working because she was heavily pregnant. She was just waiting on this baby, you know. It's a bit overdue. So she'd come and see me and would go out for something to eat every day. This was it. And I'd hear all her moanings and groanings. So one day she says, I don't know the name of this baby. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Is there any good traditional Scottish names?
Oh, my Lord.
And I said, the traditional Scottish name is Creosote. Right? She went, oh, that's lovely. And I just laughed and forgot all about it. So I'm back in Scotland. I get a fucking phone call from her mother. Go on that fucking phone and talk to my idiot daughter and tell her, because they have Creosote there.
Oh, dear.
She'd named the baby Creosote.
The thing is, what you've done with your holiday,
Yeah.
there's guys from Dundee I know,
Yeah.
and they went across, Cape Ross was across with them, and he wanted to travel in Australia, and he saw a lot of Australia, he did all the tourist stuff. But they just, with the Dundee mentality, they just shacked up across there. So they went across there and got a job in a concrete factory, and then got 9 to 5 jobs and got like Australian wives. And just sat there and they just never moved.
Oh, that's weird.
All they did, they moved to just a nondescript Australian town, got up early every morning to go to the factory, spent their money on an apartment with TVs, washing machines. They spent a year just being a blue-collar Australian and then came back with the women.
Oh,
and
no,
believe me,
don't do that.
they weren't top-grade women.
Oh, my God.
Extraordinary.
Well, I went out with a girl there, and that's what gets you to Kansas, a girl. And I think she should be out of the jail by now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's good.
But you don't, some people just
That's
love
not even a joke, by the way.
No, I can imagine.
It's not.
You want to see about the country. I'm not saying you should go to tourist places. You go off the beaten track and meet the locals, because that's where you find the best things about a country. You get the inside track.
See, I always used to just travel.
Yeah.
And it's good. But when I discovered being a tourist, it's delightful.
Yeah.
You know, so there needs to be a balance.
Yeah.
You will see more being a tourist.
Yeah. Well,
That's the thing. You will actually see more. But travelling brings another side to it, and sometimes it can be a bit exhausting.
Yeah.
Because it's great to find out that no matter where you go, people are people. They're all the same as you. They really are. Culturally, language and everything. When it comes to fundamentals, people are just people.
Oh, people are the same.
But that gets tiring as well, because people can just be arseholes everywhere as well.
Imagine like you could be going about your business and some fucker comes up to you and says,
we don't have second names.
Extra finger. Fuck's sake. Never seen a green vegetable.
But they believed it.
Oh, well.
That guy, I had his name, I had it written down in the place, and he showed me all the green veg and would explain where it came from. And he was excellent at his job. Excellent.
Oh,
it was really good. I don't think it was Walmart. It might have been Walmart or something like that.
Okay. Walmart, not terrible people.
Walmart's Asda.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if Asda's been sold again.
Possibly.
But when you
Asda's
go in,
got a bit expensive again.
all the posters, all the layout, it's like walking into an American Walmart.
Okay.
That's what Asda is.
Okay.
But it just says Asda instead of Walmart. Everything's the same. But in Kansas, in Walmart there, they had guns for sale.
Of course.
But they weren't like Armalites or anything. They were just like 2.2s.
No, they'll kill you.
But they were still real guns.
They'll shoot you.
And lots of ammo in boxes beside the detergent.
Similar things.
It was good. I had long hair at the time.
Oh my God.
And when I had it in a ponytail.
Oh Jesus.
I used to wear it like a lady. I had a cap and it would come out the hole at the back. And because it was it was long hair. So anyway, I would walk in and there was this old guy. He had to be like 85.
Wow.
And he had his gun. He was security. And every day they would go in, because we had to do normal shopping, he'd go like that, "Morning, ladies," and just stare at me.
Okay.
And one day I went, "You're a right old fucking cunt, aren't you?" He just put his head down and he never said it again. And I thought I was going to get shot, because just I've been here months and you've been saying this every fucking. I went, "You're a right old cunt."
See, now he
just said nothing.
He was the one guy that got you the measure of you bought.
I think he understood what was going on.
Everyone else was fool, but he's like, I'm not finding him charming.
But there was weird things as well. The girl I was talking about was pregnant. One day we were out, and she had this Honda Accord.
Okay.
And I got a flat tire in that very Walmart.
Okay.
And I went, right, let's change it then. And she went, "You can't." And I went, "Aye, what's wrong?" And she went, "No, my dad says a car gets to know you. And if someone else does something to the car, it could put it off balance." And I went, "Wait, what? A car gets to know the driver." She says, "If you change that tyre, the car will know and it won't work right." So I get home. I change the tyre. Took me 2 minutes. Change the tyre. Put the thing on the back. We're actually driving back. I went, "Stop in here. We'll get that tyre repaired." I paid for it. But God, it was so cheap. It was great. Got it all done in 20 minutes from home. Really efficient there when it comes to that shit. So anyway, I tell the girl I'm living with, I tell her about this. She goes, "Yeah, we've been told that all our lives. A car gets to know you. If someone else gets in it and drives it, they drive it different. It can fuck the car up."
You know what's wrong? That's a leftover from having horses. A horse will get to know you.
Oh, I've never thought about that. I just thought her dad was insane.
There's a lot of women I know and they give their cars names. That's a common women thing.
Yeah. I've seen people like in the music world. They'll pick up the guitar and go, "Oh, she's good." And you're like,
what?
It's a fucking
That's
bit of
why
wood.
I despise guitars.
But people will call it she. And it's like, "Oh, stop it. Stop it." But all women will say, they'll give a male or female designation to their car or their washing machine.
See, there's a Robbie Williams documentary coming on to Netflix.
God, it's going to be terrible.
There's already a Beckham one. Those fucking Beckhams.
Fisher Stevens, he directed it.
He is like a peanut on a stick.
But what the fuck?
I can't stand them.
Oh, I hate them.
This
They're
country needs
people.
a call of celebrity.
And they need it replaced with real people.
Kenny's on the TV
Like
every day
us.
just now. Dawn French.
Yes.
What
She's
do
got
you
a book.
fucking want?
She's got a book called "I'm a Twat."
And there's one
Or something.
Ade Edmondson.
Oh, God.
And he's like that. I think his book's called Barbarian. That fucking middle class tub.
He's a piece of shit.
He's a
Who
twat.
fucking cares about him? They should have left him on that windowsill.
Lenny Henry's got a children's book out.
Of
You're like,
course.
all of you just... Well, young people don't care about Lenny Henry.
No.
Or Ade Edmondson. But they're trying to cash in before the boomers are just dead.
Oh, God. It's just...
They've got fucking...
Who's going to buy this shit?
Somebody's buying Ade Edmondson.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Fuck's sake.
that was my guilt. To Chris, to Devlin, Mark. Thank you for my gifts, and it was really appreciated. Thanks to all our patrons. Remember all the ones from the start? They're still there. Andrew.
You're like a human 9/11.
What?
You're like a human 9/11.
Why would you
It's
say that?
impact. I'm telling you, in America.
Have I caused more damage than I thought?
Yes, psychic.
No one's going to remember
Oh,
this.
no, I'm telling you. There's some poor lass every night when she's lying in bed. She's just like, oh.
You know what I did think, though? That guy now, he's got a family that helped me on the escalator. He's got a family and that. And he says, once, you've got to be kind, because once there was this guy from foreign land, a land far away. He wasn't right.
He's probably
and I helped him down.
So gullible. He's probably, I don't know what he's done.
But the thing is,
gullible.
as soon as you spoke...
I bet he invested heavily in crypto, that guy.
But as soon as you spoke, the accent worked for you.
He's a massive fan of Elon Musk. Bet he's got a Tesla.
But I was talking to people all the time that had never met anyone from Europe. Anybody in their life.
No. You see Americans going about Edinburgh. Just like,
Americans are all over here.
Yeah.
Not Dundee.
No.
Dundee.
No, there's very seldom. Do you mean
I remember
American?
the girl I was going out with. She came. She worked for an airline. That's how I met her, and she was here all the time.
Okay.
That's it. So it wasn't. You saw her more than a girl that lived here. Do you know what I mean? Because she was here that much.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, we went down to Riverside. You know where it used to be the sort of porta cabin. It's now a restaurant.
Yes.
Well, it was a porta cabin.
Yes.
And we went in, and she ordered a couple of fried egg sandwiches.
Oh, wonderful.
She was classy.
And
the girl behind the counter looked at her and went, "You're no fae here, are you?"
Oh, my God.
And she went, "I'm not." She goes, "Are you fae Broughty Ferry?" It was wonderful.
Oh, God.
A thick Midwest
But
accent.
imagine you're American, right, and you meet some Dundonian.
Yeah. Like me, for example.
They're going to try and give them the short version of Scotland. And they just mention tartan, and then they just say to them, "Have you tried haggis?" It's the go-to. That's
Have
what
you-
everybody
yeah,
ever
yeah.
says.
I guess.
It's no anything else cultural.
There's nothing from Scotland.
We have all the
Wait.
Scotland has all
Hold
the
on.
culture of a Yakult.
Hold on.
What?
There's us.
Yeah.
We're on the rise. Everyone
The
knows
rise.
it. All the people are coming out the woodwork trying to
Well, we're on the rise like a backlog drain.
like rising damp.
Like rising damp.
That's us. We're there,
Like-
ladies and gentlemen.
Like those poor old little folk that get such constipation, the shite comes up their throat.
You know what? I feel there's a weight off me now.
It's karma, isn't it?
I'm
There's a karmic release.
I'm okay now. The guilt is gone. Now I've got about 80 more things that I did.
You need to burn that diary.
You know what? They say
Burn some sage.
talk about things. Even write it on a bit of paper
Yeah.
and burn it and get rid of it. Actually, the
Yeah.
the power of release is very
Yeah.
important. I'm going to take that fucking book in case anyone finds it because I feel so
Oh.
bad about it. I'm just going to burn it tonight.
There's a Radio 4 show. It sounds like I listen to Radio 4 a lot. I don't. And it's people going, I think it's Rufus Hound. Can that terrible
I
man?
hate. Yeah, terrible.
Remember, he was this morning's IT guy, kind of like social media.
It's because he owned an iPad.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he would just come in and say things that happened on the internet. Anyway, if folk go into his show and they read their diary from when they're like 13 and that,
Oh,
and it's just shit.
boring. My diary was amazing. It had a picture of like honestly 10,000 cocks and all the things that I did. Until next time.
Wash your balls. Just don't speak to Americans. I try and avoid it.
Laters.
Chris reaches out. You know what I mean.
But all his stuff gets very sexual.
It's very he's,
And like
he's,
penises.
he's a
and
very sexual man.
very angry sexual.
Angry, persistent.
I don't even know what he wants me to do with these metal rings he sent.
Maybe he's not even American. He has that Scottish thing about him, doesn't he?
He does indeed.
Just in the desert. It's just fried his brain.
It's not good for
Desiccated him.
Pray for Chris.
Pray
Until
for
next time, laters.
Ta-da.